All right, so this is Turtle Lung Woman's Granddaughters, chapters 23 through the epilogue, to the end of the book, which is entitled Death. So this book appropriately starts off with a chapter called Rations, and we see their increased dependence on government subsistence and how this affects their culture and their hunter-gatherer identity to more of a dependent one. Turtle Lung Woman dies in this chapter, and then she's actually replaced with a Cheyenne woman through a ceremony, which I thought was very interesting. There's a huge emphasis in the end of the book on ceremonies and the purification ceremonies and the making a relative ceremonies and the Buffalo Woman ceremonies. And all these ceremonies have an intended purpose, and that's to make the granddaughter feel comfortable going through different walks of life. There's also elements of peyote and the visions that come along with it. It was viewed as a medicine, but it also killed her mother, so she turned herself away and kind of cut herself off. She didn't stop believing, but she stopped surrounding herself with that. And eventually her husband and daughter die pretty young, which leaves her with land and kind of a new beginning and a new direction to find an identity. But this is the chapter I'm facilitating, so a lot of my questions deal with death and author's intent. Something I thought was interesting is what were the roles of the parents during these ceremonies, because at times it would talk about the parents would facilitate things behind the scenes, but not actually like be a part of the ceremony or like talk or bless things, because maybe that wasn't their place, but I don't know. This chapter also showed during the making of a relative ceremony, Turtle Lung Woman's granddaughter receiving the new grandmother, Mata, which we briefly spoke on. But Mata's Cheyenne, and they don't understand things the same way that the Lakota do, and they actually intentionally kill the dog, or the young horse that was given to Mata during the ceremony by Turtle Lung Woman's granddaughter's dad. And that was just interesting to see the nature of tribe to tribe relations, and it just kind of highlighted there's tension, but not at the same time, and maybe it's not so much tension, but misunderstanding and misrepresentation. So basically, while this chapter covers a lot of death and end-of-life things, it's also constructed effectively with a lot of new beginnings and new life things, restarts, becoming of a woman, the start to life. It kind of really greatly reflects the indigenous way of life in the terms of everything's a circle and not just a linear line. Everything comes back to the beginning. So this is a good book.